Welcome back to SundayPips. Today's video is a little different, answering a question somebody asked in the comments, how to identify areas of interest. But first, before I get into that, I want to thank you guys so much for 100 subs. Did not expect it, but very grateful. Somebody else asked, what EMA I use? Here, get a tattoo of it, carve it in a tree, do whatever you want. Visibility, I have it visible on all time frames. And if you want to know the name of the indicator, it's called moving average exponential. Guys, I read your comments. If you ever have any questions, just drop them below and I'm gonna try my hardest to answer them. Okay, how to identify areas of interest. You just place your box at the higher high when we are bullish. You can identify areas of interest on any time frame, but the higher the time frame you identify your area of interest on, the stronger it will be, and the lower the time frame you identify your area of interest on, the weaker it will be. An area of interest identified on the weekly time frame will always be stronger than an area of interest on the daily time frame, 4 hour, blah blah blah, and so on. And the area of interest identified on the daily time frame will always be weaker than an area of interest identified on the weekly time frame, but it will always be stronger than an area of interest identified on the 4 hour, 2 hour, 1 hour, 30 minute, and blah blah blah, and so on. I think y'all see the pattern. So you place your box at the higher high, drag it to the higher low, and then drag it to the left. How far back should you drag this? I don't know, but if I had to give a number, I would say 5 years. But just keep in mind, an area of interest is more respected if it's identified near current price action. An area of interest identified maybe in 1968 will not be as respected as an area of interest identified where near current price action is. Okay, so you drag it to the higher low, and then you start dragging the top part down, and when you get to the first structure point, you start dragging the bottom part up. The goal is to get 3 touches with the area of interest being as small as possible. And if y'all don't know what a touch is, it's basically when the candle of the bodies stop inside the box. For example, like this. This is a touch. We stopped inside the box. This is a touch. We stopped inside the box. This is not a touch. We did not stop exactly inside the box. We stopped under. This is not a touch. We went through it. This is a touch. Okay, the goal is to have 3 touches with the area of interest being as small as possible. The biggest you can have an area of interest is 60 pips, but you can have it as small as you want as long as it has 3 touches. It's a valid area of interest. So this is too big. If we measure this, it's more than 60 pips. It's 200 something pips. So we continue dragging the bottom part up. We get to another structure, still too big. We get to another structure, too big. And now we have 1, 2, 3 touches. And if we measure this, it's under 60 pips. So this is a valid area of interest. And to identify your second area of interest, you just start from below this one, put one end at the higher low, and then start dragging it down. You get to our structure, you start dragging the bottom part up. Okay, we get to another structure, 1, 2, 3 touches. But if we measure how big this is, it's more than 60 pips. So this is not a valid area of interest. So we just drag this back down, and then start dragging the top part down. Continue down until we get to another structure. Now we have 1, 2, 3, and yeah, the higher low can also be considered a touch. It can also be included. So this is a valid area of interest. We have 1, 2, 3 touches, and if I measure this, it's less than 60 pips, 29 pips, valid. Okay, now let's look at it when excuse me, when this is bearish. So let's switch this to lower low. lower high. Okay, this time instead of placing your box at the top, we place it at the lower low. And then we place the other end at the lower high. Drag it to the left, and then we start dragging it up, starting from the lower low. First structure, start bringing the top part down. Get to the first structure, area of interest too big, and now we have 3 touches, 1, 2, 3 touches, and the area of interest is less than, the box is less than 60 pips. So this is a valid area of interest. And to identify your second area of interest, start from above this one, place this end to the lower high, start dragging it up. First structure, start bringing the top down, the top part down. You get to this structure, you have 1, 2, 3 touches. We measure the box, more than 60 pips. So just put this back, continue down. Now we have 1, 2, 3 touches, valid area of interest. We measure this, less than 60 pips, 26. Cool. Now let's look at an example on the chart. That is the simplest I can get this to sound, to be. Okay, let me just put a check up here. Just finish the first okay, check. Okay, on the chart we are bearish. This the lower high and this the lower low. Like I said before, identifying your areas of interest, you just start from the top, from the lower low when we're bearish, and you place this at the lower high. Drag it to the left, start going up. First structure, let me drag this a little to the left. First structure, start bringing the top part down. Area of interest too big. Now we have no more structures. If we count this, it's 1, 2, 3. 200 and something pips. That's way too big. Technically we do have more structures, but it's not 3, so it's not, we shouldn't even consider this. 1, 2, only 2 structures, and area of interest is way too big, 100 something. So we just put this back, continue going down until the area of interest is as small as it can get, and still having 3 touches. Too big. How big is this? More than 60 pips. 1, 2, 3. We have 3 touches, but the box is way too big. So you just put this back, continue down, get to another structure, bring the top part down. Let me see. Okay, I guess this is also a structure. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 touches. How big is this zone? 82 pips, not valid. Put this back, continue going down. You get to this structure, bring the top part down. Too big. And how big is this now? 1, 2, 3 touches. We measure this, less than 60 pips, a valid area of interest. And to identify your second area of interest, start from the top, start above the first area of interest you just identified. Put this at the lower high, start dragging it up. Get to the first structure, drag the top part down. Too big. And how about this? 1, 2, kind of closed above. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Very strong area of interest, but is it valid? Is it under 60 pips? Yes, it is, 49 pips. But whenever I have areas of interest this close to each other, I just remove one until price closes above my first, and then I might just re-identify it. I don't want the chart to look too messy. That's just me personally, but if you want, you can leave all of the areas of interest if you want. And to identify your third area of interest, start from this one, same method, lower high, and then you start dragging it up from here. Get to the first structure, first structure, bring the top part down. Now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches, and we measure this. It's under 60 pips, valid area of interest. Okay, and when we are bullish, let me just flip the chart. When we are bullish, we start, this is the higher high, this up here the higher high, and this down here the higher low. You place your bucks at the higher high, drag it down, drag one end to the higher low, drag it to the left, start dragging it down, get to the first structure, bring the bottom part up. Bucks too big and we ran out of structures. Put this back down, continue down, another structure, too big, way too big. If I measure this, more than 60 pips, 157 pips, too big. Put this back down, continue down, get to another structure. Now we have 1, 2, what is the nearest structure? This one right here, nearest third structure. 1, 2, 3 touches. How big is the area? 97 pips. Not valid, too big. Put this back, continue down. Okay, get to this structure, bring this up. Too big, too big. 1, 2, 3 touches. How big is this? 55 pips, valid area of interest. And if you want to identify your second, your third, just put this under. Put this at the higher low, start dragging it down, get to your first structure, start bringing the bottom part up. It's very easy, really. Rinse and repeat. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 touches. We measure this and it's 30 pips. If you do this long enough, you won't have to do all this. I no longer have to place my bucks from the higher high to the, I just see it. I've been doing this for like 6, 7, 8 months now. So I don't really gotta do all this. Do it long enough and you won't have to do all of this. And if you want to know when to remove your area of interest, the only time you remove your area of interest is if, okay, let me just draw it. Let's say you got a valid area of interest up here. Valid, 3 touches, blah, 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 and so, and all that. 1, 2, 3 touches. We measure this. 22 pips, valid area of interest. And if price pulls back and it completely violates it, closes under it, don't remove the area of interest. Why? Because price can still break above it, retest, and still be used at, and still use it as support. The only time you should remove this area of interest is when price gets to another area of interest. Okay, let's say this is another valid area of interest. Let me just do this to add a third touch. Okay, when price is in between these two zones, you don't do anything. You just wait for it to get to this second area of interest, or for it to break above, retest above this area of interest, just like I said before, blah, 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 blah. So when price gets to the second area of interest, then you can decide whether to remove this first area of interest. If this first area of interest is really well respected, you can have it as your first take profit. Let's say you get your entry down here, blah, 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 and all that. Shift the structure on the lower time frame. If you use the set and forget strategy, you know what I'm talking about. But which one points up? Okay, you get your entry down here. Since this area of interest is so well respected, whenever price comes from under, it tends to go back down. It goes back down. We don't break above at all or something like that. A very strong area of interest. you leave this area of interest, because if price gets to this area of interest, it might do what it has done in the past for so many times, go back down. So it becomes your first area of interest. But if it's not that well respected, let's say whenever price gets to this area of interest, it just goes up, I don't know, stops maybe a little under, blah blah blah, then you can remove it. It's not that well respected, why leave it? Same thing when we are bearish. Put this back to normal. Okay, when we are bearish, we got an area of interest right here, valid area of interest, 3 touches. Let me bring this to make this a 3rd touch. Valid area of interest. Price closes above it, don't remove it until it gets to the 2nd area of interest. Don't decide to remove it until it gets to the 2nd area of interest, because price can still use this as, you know, break under it, use it as resistance to then continue down. It can still be used. But when we get to the 2nd area of interest, then you can decide to rather remove it. Same thing I said for when we were bullish, you can then decide to remove it, or if it's really well respected, you can leave it, because price might reverse once it gets to it. It might do what it has done in the past. Okay, let me just put another check right here to show that I actually covered everything that needed to be covered. If you have any more questions, you can ask, and I might probably make videos explaining them. So yeah, in return, just drop a like and subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you. Peace.